All right, got the transmission on. I've been so excited to get this done, I just haven't been filming, so that's my bad, but everyone else has shown this before. So transmission's on, we're just dropping it in. I've got the load leveler on, which is gonna help so much compared to before, so let's do it. You can kind of see right there, I'm trying to get that engine mount arm on there. Woo. It's on the mount. Okay guys, engine is in on the mounts. You can see that one there. And if we sneak right over here, you can see that one down there. So the engine is completely on the mounts. Now I'm going to hook up the trans mount, and then I'm going to start plugging all the wiring and putting everything where it goes. All right, it's got oil. Everything's plugged in. Every sensor, every ground, everything that I can think of is plugged in that needs to be plugged in for it to start. Basically the whole wiring harness, everything but kind of the front, and then the rear O2 sensors, because I'm not going to be using those later, so not plugging them in yet. I also don't have most of the exhaust, it's just headers. I'm going to connect the battery and we're going to attempt to start this thing. I'm terrified. I am not as scared as I thought I would be. I'm still terrified on the inside, but it's the fact that I built this entire thing that really blows my mind. Every single thing in this engine bay I've touched, I've wrenched on, I've moved every nut and bolt. Like, I don't know, let's prime it a few times and hope that it starts. I'm not running any cooling system, so it's just gonna be a quick start, kind of make sure it sounds good, make sure there's no leaks, which right now there's not. If you can see any of this down here, that's old stuff. Here we go. I'm terrified. Okay, I'm editing the video right now. Just taking a pause to explain this next clip because it is so funny. Oh, so my cousin Nash, Ruby Star S2K on Instagram, he was in one of the engine build videos. He came over to help me kind of figure this out. So we had the battery out, we tried using my truck's battery, we tried jumping the battery, like nothing would fix it. So anyway, I'm like, okay, go put the battery back in. He puts the battery in backwards and is trying to connect it, and it's shocking him. And then you'll just see what starts to happen. Anyway, enjoy this next clip. Super funny. Why are they rolling down? The rear windows are going down. Connect the battery.
I'm trying! It's shocking me, Riley! Oh, I'm connecting the battery backwards!
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny!
How many fuses did we just blow up? I'd like to give a huge shout out to Jamie from the Jam Drifts YouTube channel. He recommended this guy right here for me. It's a Chase Bays inline filler neck. It's raised 4 inches. It has a spot for any overflow, so I'm just gonna route that right down there. It also has 2 ports to put sensors or anything else that you'd like. So I have a coolant temp sensor in this one. I'm gonna route those lines with the oil temp sensor or the oil pressure sensor that I added right there. So that's this wiring right here. I'm gonna just run those together into the engine, or into the, I'm gonna run those together into the cabin so that I can have some gauges to be able to monitor the temperature and the pressure. All right, and with that, the engine bay is, I think, complete. All right, guys, so yesterday we started the car for the first time. It ran so well. I haven't had a bunch of interesting stuff to show you other than like I've just been putting the front end back on. I had to buy a new drive shaft, just the rear section, because mine, the center support bearing when it was on there was kind of like wiggling around, and not in like a normal way like a CV joint wiggles, or, you know, it was bad, like barely holding it on. So I went to my buddy Jordan. He sold me the rear section for $100, and now I can actually drive the car today, hopefully, as long as it doesn't rain and snow all day, because Utah is bipolar. I got a new drive shaft from Jordan, like I mentioned. It's this one right here. Just going to swap some of the stuff onto that. I don't know yet if I'm going to still use the solid carrier, because I feel like it may have caused the problem that this one now has. So I might try an OEM one, and if it breaks, then I'll put the solid one back in and see what happens. But we'll see. I might change up my mind before I get there. Okay, next step is we're getting the drive shaft together. So I put the center support bearing on. I just stuck a screwdriver right on the inner race of the bearing and just hit it with a hammer, and it slowly went on. I kind of went around too, so it wasn't all on one side. So I'd kind of alternate, and eventually it slipped all the way on. I put the C-clip in there. Now I'm going to show you guys a pretty easy way I just figured out on how to actually tighten your drive shaft together if you change the front or have to take the front off. So I'm standing and holding on both ends. I've got a big pair of pliers, just grabbing on and then pushing over, and I can then just spin the drive shaft. I don't even have to release the tension. You really only have to hold the front, but having the center support bearing on the ground like that makes it actually really easy to keep in place, and so it doesn't roll away on you. So you just keep a tight grip on it and just thread it all the way on. I've tried doing this in the car before, not fun at all. Okay, we're all tight, pretty easy. It's been a while since I've given an update. Still driving the car. It's doing so great, you guys, like so good. I've done about 65 miles on it now over the last couple of days, just driving around town. A couple things I need to still fix. Well, actually, I'll go over the things I fixed first. Headlights, I got those working. One of the connectors was just coming out, kind of odd, because I didn't really touch him the whole time other than when I pulled him out. Oh well. No leaks at all. There's like one really tiny, it does like one drop when I park. It looks like it's coming from around the brake fluid reservoir or something like that, but I'm not too sure. So I'm not really worrying about it yet because it's one drop. Everything's great though. Like, I want to put the wide body on soon, and I'll document that for you guys as well. But yeah, so ultimately everything is super good. Car drives great. Only complaints that I have are I need to fix my alignment. I can already see it's like the toe is off or the Ackerman is off, so it's trying to eat through my tires, which I don't really like. And then that right there, you might have just heard it taking off. Taking off from a stop can be somewhat difficult. The clutch is great, but for some reason when I give it that little blip before I engage the clutch, it likes to die. Like, sometimes it is literally almost stalled out the car. It's come very close. Other times it's totally okay, which is odd. I assumed it was something to do with the idle air control valve, like that little unit under the intake manifold. So I looked at it. One of the hoses did have a big leak in it, like a big split. So I replaced the hose, no more split. It's still doing it though. So I'm hoping that when I get my tune back from Arcade Tunes, hopefully later this week, if not early next week, hopefully that clears up. I feel like it's just with the new intake maybe in the cam, it's forcing too much air or too much fuel even, trying to make up for it or something. But then again, that's also could be because of a leak. So I'm gonna go leak hunting later, see if I can find anything. But as for now, the car, just listen. That was third gear, just not minimal throttle, but like half throttle, third gear. So good. Like, I'm not beating on it at all. I'm not like trying to race it at all, but it just drives so good. Like, I'm loving it. And then we'll get the wide body put on, and after that, we're jumping straight into like paint, the new livery, tons and tons of good stuff. There's that weird idle thing again. Yeah, I don't know what that is. If you guys know it all, and I haven't solved it by the time this video goes up in another week or two or more, who knows? I'm a little behind right now. We'll see. I'll say today is March 1st, so we'll see when I get this out. I'm gonna shoot for before March 14th. I think right now I'm gonna go in and just finish editing the final engine build video. We're really close to finishing that up. I just haven't really had the time with work and some other activities I've been up to. But yeah, we are home now. But I'm gonna see if I can get it to do that crappy idle again. Nope, doesn't want to. In reverse, it's fine for some reason. Over on this side, it's still all the same. Over here, instead of running into the old expansion tank you'll see down there, it just runs into the bottom of this little reservoir. Now you may be asking, what is this reservoir for? Pop the cap off. You'll see it doesn't go anywhere other than that one port down there. So this guy essentially is just gonna be kind of like a catch tank. On the box, it literally says it's a catch can. You can use it for oil, you can use it for coolant, you can use it for whatever you want. So when the engine gets hot and the coolant expands and comes up in here, it'll just fill into this tank. And then when the engine starts to cool off and the coolant is cooling off, it'll create a vacuum and actually just pull it right back in where it needs to be. So as long as this hose and at least above the drain on the catch can are full of coolant, then that system will work flawlessly. So when I go to bleed it again, just gonna fill it up, let it go as normal until it starts to come into here. And then at that point, I know that we will be all good to go.
I'm off of the top rope, they call me Superfly, yeah. I put that on God though. I love to sit and talk, you know I gotta go. Baby, don't play dumb, maybe that's all you know. Give them what they want, they still gunning for my soul. Give them what they want, they keep coming back for more. I'm on the top rope, they call me Superfly, yeah. I put that
Check
on
this
God
out.
though.
One hand, other hand's behind the back. Super light. Supposedly they're around 19 pounds of wheel. These things are some beauties. So I know you guys are wondering, what size are these? These are 18 by 9.5 plus 22. Like, they've got some concavity to them. I am so excited. These are gonna look sweet on the rear over there. Oh my gosh. Alright, so as you can see here, I will be at Import Face-Off on April 1st at Utah Motorsport Campus. If you guys are interested, please come out. It's going to be a really fun time. Big car show, lots of different events going on, and we will be drifting pretty much all day. from about 11 to 6, I believe. So if you're interested, please come out, show some support. You can see my car drift for the very first time with this fresh motor in it. There will be a couple of other upgrades on there, like the rest of the wide body kit and everything else that's going on. So be sure to look out for that. Come if you can. That is, once again, Saturday, April 1st.
Act like you don't know that guy has sent me. So can you tell me who come close? I don't know many. Raising a toast, yeah, we all got plenty. Don't want talk if it ain't about money, I'm getting my shit right. I might forgive, but I don't forget. And I sure don't let shit slide. I tell them I'll sit tight. I got a plan to make. You motherfuckers don't stand a chance. You stand for nothing, stand about my way. You see me from the stands and you can stand, but shake my hand no way. Y2K, a star was born, the constellations say. The universe is mine to take, so who the hell are y'all to say? I'm off the top, I'm on my way. I'm off of the top, bro. They call me super fly, yeah. I put that on God, though. I love to sit and talk, you know I gotta go. Baby, don't play dumb, maybe that's all you know. Give them what they want, they still gunning for my soul. Give them what they want, they keep coming back for more. I'm on the top, bro. They call me super fly, yeah. I put that on God, though.